I'm always excited to get out to new travel destinations, go places I've never been before, and ride with folks who are just as excited about ATV and side-by-side riding as I am. And this trip hit on all of those plus a whole lot more. Oh, and I got to go on a coal mine tour too. Spearhead trails are located in Virginia and represent 5 unique trail systems. The folks from Spearhead and the Associated Tourism Board put together a giveaway where you could win a 4-day getaway, all expenses paid, and as part of the giveaway, you get yourself on TV with us, the Trax crew. And over the course of the 3 days, we were able to meet some great folks, ride some exceptionally great trails, and do some really unique things. And when it came to hospitality, that too was second to none. Our first stop was Southern Gap Outdoor Adventure. Sitting on top of a mountain outside the town of Grundy, this ATV and side-by-side friendly accommodation is the trailhead for Coal Canyon. One unique feature about this particular area is the ability to tour out and do a guided elk viewing. Elk have recently been reintroduced to the Grundy area, and the herd numbers have grown from roughly 70 to now over 200. We got up before sunrise and headed out to the best viewing spot and waited for first light. While I've been out on many hunting adventures, this is something completely different and really immerses you. As the sun crept up, you could start to make out the shapes of the elk on the hillside, and before long we realized there was as many as 12 bull elk grazing as close as 75 yards from us. If you're staying in this area, you need to book a tour and do this. It's not penned animals, these are wild elk in their element. It's easy to forget about the nature we ride through, but when you get an opportunity like this to go out and experience something this pure, it's definitely special. As we drove back to our cabin, I no longer wondered why I was getting up so early, and I was really glad that I did. The first family that we were meeting up with were the Adkins. They had traveled roughly 5 hours to get to Spearhead Trails, and they were met with the ATV Cruisin' Fall Festival, which was a perfect event for their young family.
How are you doing? AJ, nice to meet you. Matt. Hey, Doc. Good to meet you. Are you occasionally though? Yeah.
Honestly, I was a little jealous that I didn't have my wife and kids along, as this family-friendly event was top-notch, bringing together events kids of all ages would appreciate. From face painting and bouncy slides to archery tag and hay rides, there was a lot to do before gearing up for a good day's ride. They even offered ATV safety training and handouts for kids. With vendors and bands, the Southern Gap campgrounds and cabin facility was busy, and it made me wonder why more destinations don't offer a family-friendly event like this. We all had a great time, but the Adkins were ready to get out the Razor XP 1000 and see what the Spearhead Coal Canyon Trail had to offer. The trails on Coal Canyon are anywhere from mild to wild, and we got to experience much of this, from the mud to the excellent vistas. The Adkins seemed to be having a great time, and their 2 shorter co-pilots in the rear, along with their dog, were having a blast. While it was pretty dusty during our visit, we did manage to find ourselves some mud, and while I had a fully enclosed cab on the Wolverines, the Adkins got to cool off in some fresh mud, not holding back for a second, and leaving big smiles on everyone's face. Except possibly the dog. The Grundy area and Coal Canyon trails have a lot to offer, from exceptional cabins and campgrounds to an ATV and side-by-side friendly town that welcomes you at the restaurants, gas stations, and even the Walmart. Our second stop with Spearhead Trails was at Original Pocahontas, located in Tazewell County. There are many offerings for accommodations near the OP trailhead, and that's where we met up with the Danelskis at the Real McCoy Cabins. They'd been riding the OP trails for the previous 3 days, and you could tell right away this was a serious off-road family.
This is our second trip to the area. We came down in the summer with a group of adult friends, and to bring the kids down and do a family trip, You have the same amount of fun on the same set of trails. There's different technical levels. You know, you can take the most serious riders out and have a great time, and you can take a 9-year-old kid out on the same trails and feel comfortable.
I love it here. I love the trails. Yeah, so nice. They're like not too hard, but they're not super easy.
Our
So they're
trails are rock here.
Yeah, we have a lot more rocks, so it's nice not having to go over rocks every 5 minutes.
And it's a different view, like it's not the same.
Everything
Yeah.
is so pretty here.
It's really
And it's quiet too. Like you could ride on the roads. We can't ride on the roads where we're from.
Yeah.
So it's cool having to like be able to do that.
Riding through the town was something that had everyone excited, as you can literally bring your ATV or side-by-side and leave the truck keys in the cabin all week long. You don't need them at all. The Danelskis ride together regularly back home, and on this trip had 2 Polaris Razors and a Suzuki Vincent. These folks get out and ride as a family regularly, but traveling like this to a destination is something they hadn't been as accustomed to.
Every chance we get, we try to take a ride, whether it be small or, a long ride. And, coming down here, that's pretty much what goes on. There's a lot of riding, and it's great.
Yeah. We have a big group of friends that ride. They all have kids. So a lot of times when we go out on our group rides, we'll stop for a little while and kids run off into the woods. It's neat to see them be able to go out and play like that. Every now and then they'll find a rattlesnake or just whatever, to watch them playing in the different creeks, throwing some mud around. They like to have good old-fashioned mud fights.
Good times.
And it's neat to see them get out into the woods, get unplugged. They still take a lot of great pictures for their Instagram posts. But we like to get out and enjoy the outdoors.
Yeah.
We always like to show the extra activities that can be done when you're at a certain riding destination. And one thing that I have been wanting to do for what seems like a lifetime is go into an old-fashioned, good old coal mine. And I finally got to do it.
Just the amount of work involved in getting a piece of stone out of a mine. I mean, it's incredible.
People putting their
Put your life on a line, just to, the way they were treated. Totally agree with, but that was their living, and that's what they did.
To the company
Crazy.
when they started getting paid.
Seeing what people
So
do
they
when
were
they're here.
always on the hunt for coal to dig up and sit down.
Just wild. It's cool to do though.
After they
Always
made
wanted
their
to do
buys,
this.
they started
It's
getting
cool.
paid.
I think that's the hard work that built
Crazy.
America, though.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that had to work a lot harder than we have to work. Work hard at our jobs, but you work hard for 40 hours at your job, and these people gave their lives to their jobs and their entire families. But it's
Yeah, it
neat.
was
It's
real
what built
interesting.
America, though, and you see these towns and the history in these towns.
Yeah.
You'll pass out. Well, then when you pass out, you fall into it and you breathe again. Well, that's death. It's instant death. That's why they call it Black Death, because it's evil. It's just no good for nobody.
This steel looks like a Chevy, Graham.
like mine subsidence
I don't know what kind of footprint it'd be, like a deer or a raccoon or a bear or something. And all you need is one little shard to come off there and expose something. That's what's so exciting about coming through here. You never know what you're going to see. Every day is a new exciting thing. You see the air.
I have to say that the coal mine tour was hugely informative. Being able to see this hands-on, it gave you a much better idea of what coal miners went through in the late 1800s and early 1900s in Virginia. After the mine tour, it was back on to a little bit more trail riding, where the trails got tighter and the mud got deeper. Experiencing the natural beauty in Tazewell County was fun for the whole crew. Before we closed out our day of riding, we found one last mud hole and the whole family let loose and got a little dirty. I know we all really enjoyed ourselves, and after hearing just how much fun the Danelskis had, I can tell you they're going to be back.
We plan on coming
Yeah,
down
we're
at
gonna-
least once a
When
year.
we get back home, probably plan another trip down here.
Yeah,
Friends.
we really like coming with the friends. The first time that we came down, Our friends were hesitant of bringing kids. They pretty much said we're absolutely not bringing kids because you see some of the trails that you see and the videos that you see, it doesn't look like it might be a place for kids. But once you get out onto the trails and you see you can stick with green trails and blue trails, you don't have to go onto the black trails if you don't want
once
to.
it's experiencing it with kids, it's, it's an option.
And our kids like to ride, and we like to spend time with our kids. They're only young for so long. My oldest daughter will be going to college in a year and a half, and there's only a limited amount of vacations that you actually go on where they still want to come with you. So I cherish taking them with us. I enjoy taking them with us. But it's a lot of fun to get around with an adult group of friends too. 2 different vacations, 2 different trips, but the same place. You can do it all at the same place.
Thanks for watching this latest segment of Dirt Trax TV. For more awesome content, feel free to click any of the links on the screen or subscribe to our YouTube page where we update daily with great content on a weekly basis.